Hey traders, John Howell here again with you, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the whole process that can take anyone, even if you're a complete beginner, from making nothing in the market to making $10,000 per month within a 12-month time frame, so that you can have a plan that will get you to the point where you're making really good money from the markets in 12 or within a 12-month time frame, instead of spending a few years or even a lifetime of trying to figure it out for yourself. You see, in the last year or so, I started taking on private coaching clients, and as I was teaching them, I realized that I needed to give them a plan so that they can see that if they stick to this plan, that they can have the income that they want within a 12-month time frame, just following this plan, right? So I've spent hours and hours writing down a plan that I did that took me personally from $250,000 in debt to making a full-time income from the markets in 12 months time frame. Okay, within a 12-month time frame, I went $250,000 in debt to making full-time income. Plus, also I've added some other few other things in there to make it much easier for anyone to follow. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through that map and process today. And I also want to add a side note. Not only did I write out a detailed process and plan that anyone can follow, but also wrap that around with weekly training and education, also coaching that will take anyone from zero to hero. And then that's when my weekly coaching program, also my platinum event, was born. You see, I'll talk more about the coaching and stuff like that at the end of this video. But before I walk you through the process, if you have not seen the first video where I walk you through the top 13 biggest mistakes that most traders do, that kills any chance of them being successful, then if you have not watched that, then you need to watch that first before you watch this video. And you can watch that with the links at the top of this video. You'll be able to see all the links at the top here. Video 1, video 2, video 3 and stuff like that. Then you'll be able to see the videos start to appear as I release the videos. But if you haven't watched that first video, then go watch that first video, okay? So I'm about to walk you through the process that's going to help you get to your goal faster, but it's important to understand that it's important to understand what most people do and why doing this is only going to cause you to lose years, money and time in your life trying to figure this out. You see, by me walking you through this first part, you'll see why most people are not successful, and then I'm going to walk you through the whole plan so you can be successful, okay? So let's have a look at this here. What you see right now on the screen is a bit of a diagram. To the left, okay, to the left over here, we have the progress. And this is more like, as I start to draw out this map through here, you're going to see, okay, this is the progress that people make. And the progress also equals the amount of time we put in, okay? So generally speaking, the amount of time we put in is sometimes can equate to how much progress we have, all right? Make sense? Now, let's actually move on through here. What most people do is this, okay, and our overall goal when we're trading, right, and have a think about this, just step back here for a minute. Instead of looking at the details and the strategies and getting involved in that, let's actually step back here for a minute. When we get involved with the markets, we have to start somewhere, right? And then when we start somewhere, our overall goal, right, is to get to the star, or is to get to where we're making a full-time regular income from the markets, right? Because that's our ultimate goal, right? And what we want to do is we want to be able to get to the star or get to the ultimate goal as quickly as possible. And this is our overall, this is everyone's goal, right? When we're trying to get into the markets. But here's the problem that most people do when actually getting involved with the markets. Let me explain here. What most people will do is they see their ultimate goal, okay, and then they see where they need to start. But what they do is this. They might say, okay, oh cool, I found this Forex trading system, or I found this option trading system, I found this E-minis future trading system, or anything out there. Like, oh cool, I'm going to buy it. And then what happens, right? They buy it and then they start to learn it. They start to go through the process, they spend a bit of time in there, and their progress in that system itself, in that approach of trading, what happens is they start to make some progress, right? They start to learn how it all works. They start to learn where to get in, where to get out, all this sort of stuff, right? And then there's going to come a time where you're going to still spend a bit more time, but your progress is going to slow down. It might even go back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you might try to rush into it too quickly, and then you might trip over yourself, and you might, oh, hang on a minute, and then you might have to take a few step forwards back, and you thought, hang on a minute, I've got to figure this out. What am I doing wrong? Okay, this is what I'm doing wrong, and then you move forward and you make a bit more progress, right? And as you can see, that you're making you're slowly stepping up with the overall progress with the system. And then suddenly what happens again is you focus on the system, and suddenly you have like a bit of a pullback on your overall progress. You might have a day or two or even a week where things just don't seem to be going your way, and you think, what's going on, what's wrong? And then suddenly out of nowhere, boom, you have this really big massive progress. You start to have a massive winning streak, you're following all the rules properly, you're doing everything properly, and then suddenly what happens, you have this big, you're still spending a lot of time in there, but your progress is now you're making a huge amount of progress, you're making some good money, everything works. And then suddenly what happens after that, you get cocky, you make mistakes, you forget the rules, and then you have a big massive pullback in your overall progress. You might have lost a lot of money that day, you might have made a lot of mistakes. And then what you say overall is, I've been doing this now for 6 months, I'm still not making really good money. Or I might be doing this for 3 months or 4 months and I'm still not making really good money. This system doesn't seem to be working for me, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to go start again. Instead of me focusing on this system, I'm going to focus on another system. Now, if you go back to the first video where I talk about one of the biggest problems is saying it's the market, well, it's not, right? And this is one of the biggest things that why most people actually don't achieve their goals faster than most people. And for me, I was able to achieve full-time trading status with only a 12-month time frame after almost going bankrupt with $250,000 in debt. And it's because I followed the process I'm about to walk you through right now, right? So then what do most people do? Say for example, this first system over here, okay? Say for example, this first system over here was a Forex system. All right, just say for example that was a Forex system. You say, okay, well that didn't work. Now I've got to go trade an options trading system. And what do? They go through the whole process again. They go through the steps up. They make some good progress. They back off. Make some good progress and back off. Make some good progress and back off. And you notice that they get to a point where they don't stick at it. They don't push through. They don't make the progress they want. And there's an empty space from where they actually are and where they want to be, and they don't realize that they're making this mistake. And they might have spent, as I said in the first video, they may have spent 5, 6, 7 years. But if you call this, let's just call this a 12-month time frame, okay? A 12-month time frame. If you call this a 12-month time frame, well, you haven't done, and just say for example you've been trading for 5 years. Well, you haven't been trading for 5 years. You've just done the same thing times, or the same things over and over again, or twice per year times 5, right? So you've done the same thing 10 times. So how can you expect to reach full-time status up here if you're not actually sticking at it? Makes sense, right? That's like saying I'm going to go to the gym for 2 or 3 months, and if I don't see really good progress, then I'm going to stop and I'm going to start walking. That's like saying, all right, I'm going to be a champion wrestler, and you know what? And I'm going to try this out for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, and if it doesn't work, well, then I'm going to stop. And this is what most people do. Now, they don't realize that they may be trading for quite some time, but they're actually not getting in the right direction. And I'll explain why in just a minute, okay? This is why most people fail here. The first thing is that when they're actually going through this process, they may have a trading plan, they may have a trading system, and they may have a plan of getting in, getting out. But that's what we're doing on the short-term basis, right? Where am I getting in? Where am I getting out? But there is no real plan of attack over the next 12 months. What are you doing on a bigger picture? What are you doing this month? What are you doing next month? What are you doing this week? What are you doing next week? What are you doing next month? What are you doing the month after? What are you going to be focusing on that's going to ultimately get to your goal, right? There is no bigger picture involved. It's just like, buy the system, get involved, trade as much money as I can, try to make as much money as I can, move forward, right? So that's the very first thing, is they get into a system without a full detailed 12-month plan of attack that's going to help them move forward. And the next one is, yes, they have the education, but they need a coach there helping them through every week. You see, with me personally, as you saw on the very first video, right? My first 2 years, or I'm not sure if you know, but my first 2 years, I ended up $250,000 in debt and almost gone bankrupt. So it wasn't a lack of education. I had plenty of education, right? I had tens of thousands of dollars of education, but I just couldn't seem to get it. But what made the turning point from going to zero, $250,000 in debt, to within a 12-month time frame going full-time trading, was actually having a coach and sticking out a full detailed plan of that coach gave me over a 12-month period. And what I found is, yes, I went through the same process that most people do, right? I go through this whole process here. I'd have some good weeks, I'd have some good months, and have some bad months. I'd have some good months, have some bad months. I'd have some really, really good months, and I get really cocky, and then I have some really, really bad months, right? And I'd be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But the difference is I didn't quit with this system. And the reason why is I started trading systems that work on any market, and it's based on how the markets work. And again, I'll talk more about that a bit later on in other videos. But this is just the plan of why most people are not successful. And remember, most people are not successful because they don't have a plan of attack and they don't have a coach through every week. What I did is I started getting a coach, right? And this may have taken me 3 or 4 months to get through, and I might gone through a bad period. And when I started getting coaching, guess what? Boom, out of nowhere, the coach came and fixed my mistakes. He came and got me back on track. He got me in the right mind frame. He got me focusing on the right things. He got me pursuing the right way. He got me focusing and spending as little time or as much time as possible on the right things and not focusing on the wrong things. And out of nowhere, boom, my progress started happening. So can you see that, right? And this is what most people do, is that they'll have the education there and they'll have the process and stuff like that, but they don't actually have a coach walking them through every week. And this is the biggest thing that most people are stopping with right now. You may have a lot of education there, but I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a coach, you're not seeing this exponential growth. Again, for me, my first 2 years, $250,000 in debt, but it was my 3rd year of trading that after the 3 or 4 or 5 months or 6 months into it, I really started to see the power of having a professional coach there every month, there with me, walking me through the process. Well, for me, it was actually every couple of months. Okay, with what I'm doing, I'm actually there every single week, making sure you're making the progress. So the time frame could be shorter, but I was there every couple of months. I went and saw my coach, and he went through my trades, he went through everything I was doing, and he kept me on the right track. And it's only then that you actually start to see an overall process to the high side. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to have, it doesn't mean that straight away, as soon as you get a coach. It doesn't mean as soon as you get a coach, you're going to go from here, okay, you're going to go from here to here straight away, right? Success is not a one line curve, right? You don't actually, success doesn't happen like that. But what happens overall is you're going to start to get these overall, you're going to have some really, really good months, and then maybe another week or another couple of weeks, you don't actually have some good progress, right? And it's because you might be making some mistakes. You might be fine-tuning your entries, your exit levels. Might be understanding trade management. You might be getting your risk management under control, and all these things, right? You're just nutting out. And because you have your coach there, the coach is walking through every single thing, step by step by step. Did you see this? Oh, you're not doing this. You're not focusing on this. Forget that. Don't focus on this. Focus on that. Look, you're making this mistake. Look at this. Look at this risk management. Look at your trade management. All these different things, right? Which goes into becoming a successful trader, that you don't realize that is going to help you become a really professional trader. Now, I'm not going to blow wind up your backside here. I'm just telling you how it is, right? Success is not a straight curve. Success is up and down, up and down. But as long as you have a coach there, then generally speaking, you're likely to see some good growth. You're likely to see some good spurts. But overall, what will happen is as the 6 and 12 months and moving forward goes on, you'll start to see that you're actually in an overall upward momentum. What happens with most people when they're trading, right? They go through this and they end up basically going sideways, all right? Or they basically end up going sideways. Now, why do they end up? Oh, geez. Why do they end up going sideways? Well, as I said before, right? When they get to this point through here, they stop and then they're going back down through here, and then they start again and they go back down through here, and they start again and they go back down through here. Make sense? So overall, they're going through an overall sideways movement. But with most people that get coaches, they're going to stick at the system. They're going to get better and better and better and better at it because they got the coach there, and then they get a bit of a pullback, and then ultimately they're going to get to a point where I got to a point where 12 months into getting my coaching, as soon as I started focusing on coaching and not buying education, then after 12 months I started making regular income where I was making $8,000 per month, went to $16,000, $30,000, and as much as last year's $80,000 per month. Now I'm not suggesting in any way that you're going to make $80,000 a single month, but I'm just saying that this happened around about 8 years ago, right? So 8 years ago I went through this process, and now I'm at a stage where I'm making really good regular income, and it's because I went through this. So what do you want to do? Do you just want to keep focusing on education? That's going to probably get you sideways movement, or are you going to focus on the next 12 months getting coaching so you can stay on the right path, so you can get better and better and better and better at it? which way do you think is going to get you to your goal much faster, right? The coach, right? And that's why I'm so big on getting coaching right now. Coaching is the way to go. There's so much education out there to fill a lifetime, right? But it's not a lack of education. It's a lack of coaching that's going to keep you on the right path. And that's where it's all at. Okay? You see, this is why it's important to have a coach there every week helping you through everything. And as I said before, when I first started trading, my first 2 years was down, and then the third year, boom, in that 12-month period, everything started to click. Okay? So that's this whole process here. This is what most people do, and this is why most people are not successful. But what you want to do is you want to start focusing on getting coaching, which is going to help you move forward. So now you understand the importance of don't go from jumping one system to the next system to the next system and saying it's a system. No, what you want to do is you want to start trading systems that's based on price action. Remember I said before in the first video that you want to trade systems that's based on price action, so you can start understanding and trading price action and start trading any market out there. I can trade the forex chart, the futures chart, the stock market chart. I have one system that I actually have several systems, but several systems that's based on price action that I can apply to any market out there and still be successful at it. Why? Because the systems never change. They're based on price action. Makes sense, right? And so because they're based on price action, it's not saying, well, this system only works on Forex. No, absolutely BS, right? Absolutely BS. With the way you need to approach it is having a system that is approachable to any market out there, and by you having that, and you know that it's based on how the market works, then you know you can stick to it and get better and better and better and better at it. Makes sense, right? And then as you get better and better and better at reading charts and so on and so forth, then what can happen is you can start wrap that around with other instruments such as Forex or CFDs or options. But I'm going to get more into that bit later on. Okay, I hope you can see I'm really trying to help you out here. And if you stick on the same process you're doing right now and not focus on getting coaching, well, you know you're doomed to fail. And that's what I do say. So let's actually have a look at now you know what most people do and the process that most people take. Let me take you through the overall map that for you to follow. And this is aiming to make, say, $10,000 per month, okay, within a 12-month time frame. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have a line there. I just noticed that said aim. This is going to aim to aim to make the $10,000 per month. All right, let's continue on here. What we're going to have here is, as I said before, that there's a timeline here, right? We have that bit there, and we have that bit there. We have the start and we have the finish. So there's many different processes that we need to follow, and we need to excel up in the overall. This is the overall categories that we need to be focused on moving up. You can't go from 1 to 6, right? Or you can't go from 1 to 3 or 3 to 9 and stuff like that. Follow this overall map that I'm going to give you, and you'll start to see that you can indeed go from this point through here, which is just starting out to making no money, to this point over here where you're at the finish line. The finish line simply means that you're now making regular income from the markets on a continuous basis, right? So let's have a look at this here. Number one, step one is what I call the pull method. Now this sets you up for success. So what this is based on visualization. This is based on meditation. This is based on a lot of different things out there that I've done over the years, and many years, and people like Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Jim Carrey, all of these people talk about this one thing out there. And I've put this down into a simplified process so that all it takes you is literally 5 minutes a day. That's all it takes you. And what it does, it sets your life up. So instead of you trying to push for your success, this whole method here and this whole strategies here that I actually walk you through in my coaching program, but this whole method here is the pull method. And what the pull method is basically visualizing what you want, right? And again, I have a detailed process that I don't have time to walk through with today, but you're setting yourself up. So instead of you trying to push for success, you're now getting pulled. You're getting pulled to success, okay? And this is going to set yourself up so success is pulled to you instead of trying to push it to you, okay? So that's the very first thing we need to actually set up before we start doing anything, right? It's getting our mind right, getting our focus right, and getting the universe, God, whatever you're going to call it, to help us towards our goals there. Step number 2 is we need to do chart reading. And this is before anything, right? Step number 2 is chart reading. The important thing is this, is that understanding how to read the charts is very, very important. You see, the thing is this, right, is that if you know how to read the charts and understand the strength, the buyers, the sellers, the overall movement, there's a detailed process that I like to go through that's going to help me understand reading the charts. So that's going to help me take the confusion out, but it's also going to help me very, very simply understanding exactly what's going on in the market right now so I can move forward without bringing in my trading system. Okay, without bringing in my trading system, I can understand what's going on with this market, even if there's not any trades. So that way I can move forward on a much better way. So you know what, I'm not confused with this chart. There's just no trades, but now I understand what's happening in this market, so I'm not confused anymore. Making sense? So all I say is this: is that, as I said before on the first video, one of the biggest mistakes is following indicators. So the most important thing is learning how to read price action, right? And you know yourself, right? Price action is king. Price action doesn't lie to you. So the better we actually become at reading the price action, the better trader we'll be. Makes sense, right? So that's the second step we need to focus on. Then number 3, as we're getting closer and closer and closer to the finish line, number 3 is focus on trading systems. Once we're setting ourselves up for success being pulled to us, then we now understand how to read the chart properly, and we now understand what the price action is telling us without looking at indicators or moving averages or trend lines, anything like that. Now we're ready to jump into trading systems. These trading systems, again, it's important to trade trading systems that can be applied to price action only. So if you want to trade the futures chart, the forex chart, the stock chart, doing option strategies, anything like that, you now can apply that to any market out there, so you can stay on the continuing progress to overall success. Makes sense, right? And again, I'm going to walk you through some trading systems, but I also have plenty of trading systems that I'm going to walk you through some trading systems in some later videos. But that's number 3. This is the whole process here. And number 4, this is where you start doing the dreaded paper trading. It's like, oh no, not paper trading now, John. Are you serious? Yes, you want a paper trade for as little as, say, 3 months there, okay? For as little as about 3 months, I would say paper trade. Paper trading is going to get you live trading in real time, but without money. It's going to get you used to getting in it properly. It's going to get you used to getting out it properly. It's going to get you trade management, your risk management, all these things up into details, up into process. And again, this is an overall process. If you try to rush into the market and trip, remember I said before in the first video, right? I talked about how the racer doesn't quickly just jump into the 100-meter sprint line and take off. No, there's things he does beforehand before he gets into the race. And so that's the whole process of a successful trader. Hey, I didn't make the rules, okay? If you want to be successful in the next 12 months, follow what I'm doing. But if you want to keep being where you are, if you want to be where you are this time next year, all right, in the next 12 months, and just keep being where you are, just keep doing what you're doing, okay? But if you just follow what I'm telling you, this is going to help you become much more successful. It's a process that within a 12-month time frame can get you much closer to people's goals. And remember what I said before, right? Remember I said before that most people in 12-month time frame, they're back to square one because they're starting a new system, right? I'm showing you the proper process. So in 12 months, you can be making so much more progress than most people do in 3 or 4 or 5 years, just because you're getting coaching and just because you're following a simple proven plan of getting you to the finish line or getting you to overall making good money, right? So paper trading is very, very, very important. Then what you want to do is, when you're after a few months paper trading, you now got a bit of confidence into you. You want to start off small. And what you want to do is, for the first couple of months, you want to aim to make $100 per month for 3 months. Now this is going to allow you to trade very, very little money. Okay, but it doesn't mean you be sloppy or non-diligent or non-focused on your trading. No, you're still going to trade the way that you want to trade, right? But you want to be able to trade on a small basis. And your aim is now to make $100 per month for 3 months, right? And you might say, oh, John, that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy. Well, if that's easy, then why aren't you making $10,000 per month? Because it's the exact same process, right? And that's what we're going to start walking through. We're going to start getting into a habit of getting out when we should for stop losses and also for profits. We're going to be getting into a habit of getting into the right trades, and it's all these habits that we pick up of trade management, risk management, money management, getting in at the right time, getting out at the right time, cutting your losses short, letting your wins run. All these things you're going to learn, you're going to absolutely start learning when you start trading real money, is all here, right? Because I promise you is that if you can't make on a systematical approach, so what we call a non-mechanical way. Non-mechanical way means you approach the market the same way every single day. If you do that and you follow a plan diligently and you can make $100 per month for the next 3 months, now you're ready to graduate for the next thing. And the next thing, the next step there is number 6, which means that now after making 3 months of making $100 per month, and you know the system, you know when to get in, you know when to get out, you know the pattern, you know the proper setups, you've been patient, you've been doing all that things, right? All those different characteristics of being a successful trader. You're now ready for the next level, and the next level is $1,000 per month. And your aim is to keep doing what you're doing, but just bump up a little bit more contracts, or bump up a lot more money into per trade. And what that's going to do is that if you're following the plan properly, and you're now doing $100 per month for 3 months, then you should be now, by default, making $1,000 per month. But you don't want to go from 100 to 10,000, right, straight away, because that's going to start killing. That's going to start getting you really uncomfortable. You want to build it up as your confidence and your comfort level gets around those levels, right? So you still trading the same amount of trades, or the same amount of entries. But now the next level is $1,000 per month. And then number 7, the next level is $5,000 per month. And number 8, the next level here is $10,000 per month. Now this is overall 8 steps here. And obviously the very last step is I've moved it up from there. Now, when I said before, right? My first 2 years I was not doing well, but my third year, when I first started trading, my goal was to make $8,000 per month. There's $100,000 per year. That was my overall goal, right? And by the end of the 12th month, I was actually making $8,000 per month. And in a very short period of time, I doubled that. I went to $16,000 per month without trading anymore. Why? Why was I doing that? Well, one, I wasn't wasting my money. I was saving every single cent and penny I could, right? But what I did is I just said, okay, I can now trade a lot more within my risk and money management means. And then instantly I went to $16,000 per month, and then I went to $30,000 per month. You see the process? But I would not have got there if I didn't start focusing on all these different little areas there, right? So where do you want to be in 12 months time frame? Do you actually want to be in 12 months time frame where you are right now? Where it's probably where your overall trading level and your trading progress right now, you're probably where you are right now where you were this time last year, right? Where in the last 12 months, you really haven't made a lot of progress, really, like some good massive progress. And that's because you're not sticking to a plan and not following a plan overall. And this is the overall method. And some people are like, John, I don't want to spend 12 months going through this thing. Well, if you're not going to spend 12 months going through this thing, then you've got to stop trading and you've got to move on to something else. Okay? Because there is an overall method. Now, some people, depending on the level of experience, some people can actually do this in 6 months time frame, meaning that the first 1, 2, 3 steps and 4th step, this could be done little as 4 months, right? And then this whole process here, depending on your level of comfort and so on and so forth. So just depends where you are. But this is a method. If you've never traded before and you're very scared or you're very nervous, you don't even know what a stock is or a chart is or a bar is, this is an overall method to help anyone go from zero to hero to making money. But what is the key here, right? This is the map here, right? There's a few things here. The key is, 1, when it comes to chart reading, and when it comes to systems, we've got to have the right education, right? The right education that's going to allow us to understand price action and trade systems based on price action. So no matter what market out there, you'll simply trade in the same system. And that's how you get better and better, right? Having the right education. This one here, what you have is plan, which we have right now, plus the education, plus proper education and / systems, right? That's going to apply to any market out there, plus coaching equals what we call star, or the finish line. Is this making sense now? So I hope you can see, right, if you're in this same process yourself right now, and you seriously want to make the next 12 months, next 2 years, in 5 years time frame, if you want to be living in your overall ideal house and doing what you want to do, then you know the proper steps you need to take, all right? And you can have 2 choices right now. You can actually get committed and actually get a coach who's going to help you every single month or every single week, walk you through these processes so you can actually be on the correct path and moving forward. Or you can simply keep doing what you're doing and then struggling from there. Now, the reason why coaching is so important, and here's the thing, right? For me, I wanted to make $80 per month, right? That was my goal. And so for me, when I started making $80 per month, there was a lot of learning curve I had to start going through. I was trading live money. I wanted to actually go through the proper processes I want to go through of getting in, getting out and stuff like that. And then when I started going to $1,000 per month, because it's a bit more money, I started getting nervous. I started getting stuff like that. I started making some mistakes and stuff like that. But this is where you actually start. This is where the learning curve goes up of where to get in, where to get out, getting comfortable with that. Same here, getting comfortable with this, but actually instead of letting that fear, that voices, right? Because the more you go up, the more, especially if you're not comfortable, right? The more you're going to start getting a bit more fearful, like, oh, I've got a lot of money in this trade and stuff like that. But that's when you start to get. That's where you start to learn how to take control of your emotions. You start to getting a bit more coaching, focusing on the things that you should be focusing, and continue moving forward. And as you can see, right, getting the coaching is going to help you with all these levels through here as well. And this whole period through here was definitely a big thing, right? But I didn't know this overall process. I didn't know this overall map to actually help me move forward. But now you do, right? Now you actually know why people are not successful and the overall plan there. So you're watching this video, you want to become a better trader, and you know that even if you have really good education or a really good education, you're still missing a large percent that's going to help you make long-term success, which is having a coach look over your shoulder every week to make sure that you don't fall into a trap of doing what most people end up what most people do and where they end up right now. Okay, so that's why I've just opened 5 spots to my weekly coaching and platinum event package. You see, I only open this up twice per year, and this is the second time, which means once it's filled up, then this will be closed for the rest of the year. So if you're ready to finally make a right decision, and if I've shown you now and I've proven to you now that having a coach is the way to go, and you're ready to make that final decision for your trading career and to have a coach with you every week to make sure that you are focusing on the right steps, going over the mistakes, sticking to the plan, and a whole lot more, then click on the button below and that'll take you over to another video where it'll walk you through my backstory, who I am, how I got involved with the markets, my success stories, plus what the weekly coaching and my brand new updated platinum event is all about. Once again, I only can take 5, so it's a first come first serve basis. So click on the link below right now and go check it out. So in this video, you learned what most people do. Or you learned what most people do so you don't have to go down the same path. You also learn a 12-month map and plan to help you get to your goal faster than anything else out there. And I've proven to you, right, what most people do, and you've probably been in the same situation, right? And it's literally the circle of doom that's going to get you there, right? And you now know the month there. And you also know that having a coach with you is the only way to making true progress. And if you want me as your coach, then click on the button below. So in our next video, in our free video series, I'm going to walk you through a simple but powerful charting pattern that can help you understand what's going on in the market right now in the markets. So there will be no confusion when trying to read the charts, okay? This is so powerful that it's the foundation to my #1 trading system that I've been trading for the last 8 years. This is simple but very powerful. So look out for my email next time for my next video. Woo. This is Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.